What's up, everybody? My name's All Ego Ethan Page, and you're listening to MarsTV.
Hola amigos, yo soy El Mariachi Loco, and you're watching the MarsTV podcast.
What's up, bro? This is Robbie E, and you're listening to MarsTV.
What's up, invaders? It's Skylar Mars, and welcome to 2017. This is the first MarsTV podcast episode of 2017, and I am so excited. We've got a man who's been all over. He's been to Evolve and wrestled some of the best out there, like Brian Cage, Michael Elgin, Cody Rhodes. They call him Ethan Page. I'm super excited for this interview. He's kind of a big deal, and you know, it's just nice being able to be a 19-year-old kid who's training to be a professional wrestler, being able to host a podcast about professional wrestling, where he talks about professional wrestling with the professional wrestlers he watches on TV and the internet all the time. It's pretty cool. I have to update you guys on everything that happened from December to now because I didn't post anything throughout most of that time, and I'm sorry. Hopefully, I'll start making gaming videos again very soon. Mondays will be probably the day for some Martian Raw. Let's see what else. I did some pretty cool. I did something pretty cool. I got to go to a training seminar with Mike Knox. Mike Knox turned out one of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet. Just a really nice guy. Like, he likes to carry himself like he's Ace and Eights, but his personality is a little more menagerie. I'm not trying to make fun of him. That's just how I could figure out the best way to describe him. Anyway, super nice guy. And it now comes to today. Today, we're talking to Ethan Page, and we have a sponsor now. Go to marstv.midcardguy.com. What is midcardguy.com? Well, the Midcard Guy is a clothing and apparel website where you can get awesome wrestling branded clothing. I've got mine right here. It's got this little sketch design, and it literally just says Midcard Guy. But there's tons of the ones. You know, you've got I'm a Hugger shirts. We've got ones that say Super Kick and Jobber. We've got ones that say Foreign Objects and all this jazz. It comes in tons of colors. You can get it as a t-shirt or a hoodie. And if you use the link marstv.midcardguy.com, you can save 5% off your order. That's pretty cool. We have a discount code. Man, 2017 is starting off with a bang. And that is no small feat. We've got roughly 600 subscribers right now. Please tell your friends, send the links to people who like podcasts, who like pro wrestling. Tell them about the MarsTV podcast. By March, by the 1-year anniversary of the show, I would like to have 1,000 subscribers. Let's make that happen. And in the comments, I want you to tell me who you want to see on the show. Probably nobody from WWE. It's probably not going to happen. We got Sean Maluda. He's on 205 Live in NXT. That's one of those things not going to happen too much. So keep it indie. You know, maybe we can break Ring of Honor or NJPW. Maybe, but that's going to take a lot of persuasive power. With the show just getting off the ground, like I said, probably not going to happen. But who knows? I've done things that have amazed people on this show. Let's get started. But before we get started, do you have a band? Do you make music? Well, I'd like to do a Song of the Week segment, and you know, to make this a little bit feel more like a radio show instead of some guy talking to some other guy. So, email planetmarsbooking@gmail.com. What I want is the name of your band or your name if you're the musician, a short synopsis of what the song is about, and some type of, you know, MP3 of the song. If there's a music video, I can even post that on my channel. Try and help you get your name out there, and I get a Song of the Week segment. Everybody wins. Alright, let's get the show started. So anyways, how's your week been, brother?
Hectic, man. So hectic. I gotta run this show on Sunday. And I just did a show on Wednesday with Alpha One. I gotta be in Ottawa tomorrow. I haven't really slept since last Friday, so it's just been, I want to say a nightmare just because of how busy I've been, but it's been good.
Oh, wow. nuts. How was that anti-bullying show?
It was awesome. It was the most bizarre scenario in wrestling history. I don't know how the hell a wrestling show could promote anti-bullying when we're suplexing each other, but it ended up working out good and wrapping itself nicely at the end. And I honestly couldn't believe how well it came off and how well it shouldn't have. It was perfect.
Oh wow. So that was one of the questions I had written down here. I guess I can do these out of order because this is a pretty casual show. Did you do the anti-bullying show because that has some that's like close to your heart or something like that? Because a lot of wrestlers had that problem.
To be completely honest with you, no. I know it's something that people deal with, and I definitely don't shy away from. Like I don't. It's not that I don't believe that it's an issue. It wasn't really like I was bullied a lot in school. I just had, I guess, a different upbringing and the confidence to, I guess ignore it or not really care about people's opinions. I've had that ever since I was young. But it's not to say that it's not detrimental to other people's like growth. It just kind of it was an idea that we had because some of the crew in the company were dealing with some bullying. We wanted to use our video editing because that's something our company is well known for. Introduce a video to kind of just spread awareness instead of that. These superstars that we hire, they deal with bullying too. So it went from a video to the right person seeing it that led to a show in North Bay, and the show I thought was a great opportunity for me to practice things that I want to do in the future, like WWE's Be a Star. I want to be able to just be like, hey, I've already done this kind of stuff on my own, so with your guys backing behind it and Machine, I think I'll be able to do just fine.
Do you think wrestling can be used to help causes like that?
Yeah, for sure. When we was hired to do it, I honest to God, I knew how I was going to do this. I was just like, this is good exposure for the company. It's good practice for me, good practice for the staff, the wrestlers that I hired. And I was like, how the hell do you pull this off? And I realized that kids from the age of kindergarten to grade 6 or 8, if they see a presentation like this, there's guys flying from the top rope, over the top characters. Within minutes, they become idols. So to them, if I'm able to captivate their attention and kind of convince them that I'm larger than life, then me telling them it's okay to admit that you're being bullied and to go talk to a family member, it might be more convincing than someone that they see every single day.
Are there any causes you'd like to use, I guess, your power as an entertainer or wrestler to possibly help combat?
Honestly, just people being better human beings. It blows my mind how selfish people are in today's world and how impatient they are and rude they can be to people they don't even know. And it's like you don't know what those people are dealing with that day, or I don't know, just being a better human being, a better person. I guess that's what being a role model is all about, is kind of setting example to how to be a good person.
I wondered this. I looked up. I did a lot of Googling of you. I always do research before every episode, a little bit of homework, and I found your blog that you have on your website. And I read that whole thing about you taking your wife to a Bone Thugs concert.
Yeah.
Can you tell that story for anyone who doesn't understand what we're talking about?
Sure. I'll just do it short and sweet. We went. My wife loves them. She paid extra for the meet and greet. We waited in line after the concert. Got up there, and I would say 90% of the guys in the group just couldn't give her or me or anyone in this thing the time of day. There was guys just whistling at girls and couldn't look up or even say hello when they're speaking to you, and it was just the most like depressing demeanor I've ever seen in my life, especially because they didn't sell the place out. They're not huge stars anymore. Their shine is like their star has dimmed. They're not at the top of their careers. And I just couldn't believe that people paid to kind of just get photos with assholes.
It happens.
Yeah, for sure. No, it definitely happens. It was just an eye-opening experience for me and kind of an example of what I never want to become.
Did that experience possibly make you change the way you talk to people, or was it more like, I see this and I don't ever want to be this?
No, it's definitely I see this and never want to be this, but I've also never taken any kind of fan or action for granted. Even the awkward ones. I know how hard it is for fans to muster up the courage to even come say hi to somebody. It's all the way they perceive you. Like, they could be nervous, they could feel awkward, they could be scared. So you should never take that for granted and mistreat somebody like that.
Oh, totally. I can understand that from the fan perspective, because I'm doing this show even when I'm like emailing people. I'm always nervous to like every single like wording of every question as I'm asking them to be on my show.
I get it, man.
Oh yeah. Now, okay. I have two silly questions. I want to kind of get them out of the way. Have you ever thought about calling your fans egomaniacs? Because that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I have. I think that's pretty catchy, so I have to make something up with it, maybe a t-shirt or something.
Yeah, you could do like the Hulkamania thing, but it says like egomaniacs or something like that.
Oh, it's perfect.
That's genius. That'll get up on ProWrestlingTees.com. Accidental plug. And second of all, I noticed that you've done it before. You like sell your old like ring worn gear. Have you ever thought about what the fan like does with it when they buy it? Because I'm totally up for any wrestler, getting rid of something and making a couple extra bucks. I'm 100% supportive of that. But what I don't understand is what the fan is supposed to do with it when they get it.
So I actually just shipped the pair right before I came to do this interview. I don't know, to be honest with you. I've had one instance where a friend actually bought a pair and plopped them for one of their buddies' birthdays. But I've wrestled for them in Cleveland for the last 4 years, and it's a pair that I've worn a lot while working for that company. So for them, it's memorabilia. They're probably hanging up on the wall and put like a photo of me in the gear, and I get that. But some people that order more than one pair or request my like undergarments, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Has that happened?
Once before. I've had someone ask me not to watch them.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh man, that's one thing that's weird about this show is because I'm in training to be a wrestler. That's what I want to do with my life, and sometimes I get stories about fans that just disturb me.
Hey, you gotta be nice to everybody, though.
Oh, of course, 100%.
Yeah, start now.
Oh man, that's why I do fan questions. I figured that was one of the coolest ways to do that.
Thank you.
So, let's see what else we have here. Oh yeah, so you can now brag about this. You're the first Canadian to show up on my program.
Oh, very cool.
I wondered if you had a little training in Canada, and from what I read, you accredit a lot of your training to Michael Elgin.
Yep.
I don't know the name of the school you went to because I couldn't find that, but was this before or after like Heart Dungeon? Like, was that ever a consideration, or maybe Lance Storm School, something like that? Like, was that ever in the cards?
Where I live, in comparison to where that is, it's very far. Not to say that people haven't traveled to go train there. My beginnings in wrestling were actually not humble at all. I kind of quit the school after about a month just learned on the road and more or less taught myself how to be a professional wrestler, which is the wrong way to do it, but I did it.
So you had kind of a less traditional upbringing.
Yeah, exactly. I learned how to fall. That's pretty much it. Then I kind of taught myself everything else. And Michael Elgin kind of took me under his wing and really helped me out.
Well, to be fair, Dusty and Conan both did it that way.
I know, like Shawn Michaels too.
Oh, Michaels did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he learned how the basics, and then after not too long, you get thrown in the ring, and that's how you learn.
I just thought that was interesting, and did you? One thing I was always curious about is you have like Stampede and stuff in Canada. Did you ever, want to do things like that? Like did you ever want to be a part of like the scene that was close to home?
Well, like again, that's not close to home either. That's very far.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that's Calgary, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's like a bajillion hours away from where I live.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm in the Toronto area.
Okay, so like as an American like wrestling fan, I don't understand. Like I'm writing all this with like very basic knowledge of Canada, so now I can kind of see where that mistake is made.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, I can see that. So did you ever like? One thing I notice about a lot of like, I keep asking this because you're the first one on the show, Canadian wrestlers, is a lot of them will like do tons of like maple leaf flags. You had an entire like Team Canada in TNA where that was basically the whole shtick, But you made your own thing instead of following any kind of path like that. Do you have an opinion on? I want to say like regional gimmicks. Like I guess my best example would be like Bollywood Boys.
Yeah, I just think it's corny.
Think it's corny?
Yeah, I think maybe they just don't have personality, so they can't really draw from anything. So it's like, oh, where are you from? I don't know, maybe I'll just do something like that. But I will say, I'm very proud of being from Hamilton, Ontario, so I'll never be the wrestler that changes his hometown to match his gimmick or anything like that. Like, I'm not going to do some parts unknown or lie and say I'm from Hollywood, California, but I've never actually left my hometown. Like, it's definitely not what I'm going to do.
I can understand that. How did you, I guess, fall upon this whole, like, ego thing?
Yeah, I don't actually know. I think one of my cousins was over, and I wanted to originally call myself the All Ego Kid. But I don't remember why. I eventually, obviously, chopped it down to just All Ego. I just figured, I don't know, what would piss people off the most? Probably the most egotistical human being on Earth. And people were calling themselves, like, All Heart or All Action. And I was like, no, I'm not just confident. I don't only have like a little bit of an ego. I'm all ego, like a complete ego. So
well, it's clearly working. I mean, you've clearly like you're having matches with guys like like Elgin. And I saw a picture of you fighting Brian Cage, or not a picture, a video. And you worked in Evolve. I mean, that's all pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm doing very well right now. I'm very happy about it.
Do you see you and your ego going anywhere?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to England very soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I leave in about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Any notable promotions you're going to be seeing?
I'll be working for Southside Wrestling while I'm down there and have some pretty big matches.
Nice. I've heard of Southside.
Yeah, they're doing very well.
Oh, that'll be cool. I'll have to definitely check out a lot of that footage. Whenever it surfaces on the internet. Oh man, that's one thing I wanted to start asking about on the show is a lot of the wrestlers I talked to started slightly before I guess I want to say the age of the internet. When exactly did you debut?
In 2006.
Alright, so this would be slightly after then. At least a little bit. Do you feel like that helps you, like, getting on, like, social media and, like, telling people about everything?
Yeah, like, it's not that I grew up in it because, like, I remember dial-up internet and MapQuest printing off before GPS. But I was also there for the boom of Twitter and Instagram and all that crap. So it's definitely, I guess I have grown up in it.
I mean, I can totally understand the use of it. That's quite literally the entire basis of my business.
It does. Same with me.
Right? I don't know. And before we, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah. So, you do a lot of traveling as you've worked in the States. You're going to be working in England. I imagine you've worked in some places in Canada. I mean, as a trainee, I've only worked in 2 different locker rooms, but I noticed that they were very dramatically different. Is every locker room of every Fed, even when made up of a lot of similar talents, different?
Yeah, because the management will always be different. The expectations of you are always different. Some people want things done one way, and the other people want things done the other way. At least professionally, I would say they're different in that aspect. Some people don't really care about that. They'll kind of just do their own thing no matter what the locker room is. But I try and keep the boss happy since that's who's paying me. So yeah, I'll say every locker room, yeah, it's different.
That's kind of cool. Another thing I'm curious about is if we can go back to the Bone Thugs thing. You kind of mentioned in that blog for the first time in a while you were looking at something from like a fan perspective. Does being a performer kind of change like your whole perspective on like being a fan or being a performer?
Oh, for sure. Like, I can't go to any show and buy a ticket and not judge it by either entertainment, how much effort they put into the production, how the staff was greeting me. It's all part, especially since I run events too. It's all really part of it. And not that it takes me out of it, I just look at it from a different perspective. Exactly.
All right. Before we switch over to fan questions, is always how I cut out my show. There's always one question I ask every single guest. What advice do you have for someone wanting to get into or just getting into the sport of professional wrestling?
One thing, I just like the entire idea, I guess. Because there's so many pieces of advice I could give somebody, especially just starting out. But I guess the most important thing would be is that wrestling will never owe you anything, and you only get out of it what you put into it, unless you fall into dumb luck, which is always possible. Like some people get jobs when they're not good. But if you have any kind of talent or no talent at all, it doesn't matter. Wrestling is effective. So just keep plugging away, never give up, and eventually you'll get what you want out of it as long as you put in the effort.
That I can totally understand. All right, now we can move on to fan questions. We have 2 questions from @NP_QUE on Twitter. I didn't know how to pronounce that, so I wasn't really sure what else to say except to spell it. Well, Ethan, they typed Mbook, but I'm gonna assume Embark. Jeremy Prophet on Alpha One, or do you still not like him?
No, I don't really like that guy.
You don't really like that guy?
I love him as an Alpha One.
What is the story of why you don't like Prophet?
He's just like a real all ego in real life, and very hard to deal with backstage, and real asshole.
Oh dear. All right. And his second question was, have you ever worked as an extra for WWE? Also, has he ever done a tryout?
Never done a tryout. I've worked extras for WWE twice. Never did internet TV, so like backstage footage like that. But yeah, twice I've done it.
All right. At DJ Little Fever, also has 2 questions. What is your proudest moment so far, and what is your most embarrassing moment?
I'll go back to it then. I would say proudest moment would be multi-playing show, making a difference for those kids and being able to pull it off. Just being able to bring something like that 4 hours away from home. That's a very cool experience. And I would say most embarrassing moment, like I've never like shit myself in the ring or anything, so I don't know, man. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
At Thunder Cobra, what was weird about this? Just a side note: when I got this question, the person called themselves Thunder Cobra, and it was a picture of the Thunder Rosa girl from Lucha Underground. I can almost 100% assume that it's not the real one. I just thought it was weird to see that. I'm assuming it's a fan, but I have no idea. How does Ethan feel about men and women's wrestlers fighting each other without separation by gender?
Well, I booked Alpha One Wrestling, and I had Maggie Lovelace as our heavyweight champion, so I think it has the place.
I like it. All right. Thank you very much, Paige. Before we go, do you have anything to plug?
No problem, dude.
All right.
Just my Twitter, @officialego, prowrestlingtees.com/EthanPage, and check out my YouTube channel. It's got a bunch of cool videos. Just YouTube Ethan Page, and my account will pop up.
Awesome. Before we go, I'd like to plug my sponsor. Sponsor for the show, the Midcard Guy. It is a cool website where you can get awesome pro wrestling themed t-shirts and hoodies. There's t-shirts that say Foreign Object, Jobber, Midcard Guy, obviously. If you go to MarsTV.midcardguy.com, you can save 5% off your order. Thank you guys very much for joining us. I want to thank Ethan Page one more time for coming on to the show.